All right, guys, we are live. We got to let it breathe. Hang tight, hang tight. Just connect to Facebook real quick. Oh, the opportunities slipped through their fingers. They had this game, dude. Pivotal turning points that we're going to talk about. But first, welcome in, everybody. This is the gut reaction episode of your Mile High Huddle podcast, reacting, of course, to the Broncos coming up short in the AFC Championship game, getting overwhelmed by the elements, falling to the Patriots 10-7. I'm Chad Jensen. This fella right here, you know him, you love him, Zack Kelberman. Zach, bro. Missed opportunities, dude. First of all, 4th and 1. I knew it in my gut then. Sean Payton was going to regret not taking those points. But 2 uncharacteristic misses, even in the elements, right? Wil Lutz misses that one field goal wide right. And then, the game tire. We'd be going to overtime right now, Zach. But the Patriots, the kid they just brought up off the practice squad, tips it. Game over, man. Your gut reaction.
Truly, we say it a lot. We said it over the course of we've been doing this pod together. I believe in it wholeheartedly, Chad. It's a game of inches, the NFL, football itself. And the Broncos won a game earlier this year against the Commanders because Nick Bonito tipped a pass. It's a game of inches. The Broncos didn't do enough to capitalize on those inches today. And before we kind of nitpick everything and kind of dwell in the misery, let me just say this as a disclaimer. The fact that the Broncos got this far to begin with Bo Nix and Sean Payton and this combination, no one expected them to reach the AFC title game. Everyone counted them out. So first and foremost, I want to say to the Broncos, to Sean Payton, Bo Nix, and to even, I'll say to Jarrett Stidham for the first quarter, good job on the season. It was a hell of a run. They came up just short, but there's nothing for them to hang their heads about in terms of the season, Chad. It was a massive success, first and foremost.
No doubt about it. I mean, that should be the overarching message. And that's something I said we talked about, Zach, together multiple times this week, is the house money effect, right? The Broncos, of course, they want to win. Of course, they don't want their season to end. Of course, they want to advance for a shot to win the Super Bowl. But at the same time, they've already achieved so much. And when you lose your quarterback, I mean, I think you saw today, Stiddy gave us some hope on that second possession, but you saw the limitations. And it's not just Stiddy. Obviously, Zach, there's a reason Bo Nix is the starter and not Jarrett Stidham, but you saw him butt up against the hard realities of coming off a long season, the bench cold, getting 1 week worth of reps. And then, the elements really overwhelmed everybody, but especially Jarrett Stidham in that offense. I mean, that second half offense for the Broncos is pretty embarrassing. The only thing that gives them a pass, of course, Zach, is the fact that the elements, it was a blizzard. But overall, Zach, if Bo Nix is in this game, I have, based on what I saw, zero qualms in saying the Broncos win. They actually advanced to the Super Bowl with Bo Nix. It was a great opportunity. Last thing I'm going to say, and then I'm going to serve it back to you, because just like we said with Josh Allen last week, he had his chance to make a run. No Mahomes, no Lamar, no Joe Burrow. And that same thing, Zach, holds true for Bo Nix and the Broncos in 2026. Those guys will be back. So that's why they really wanted to win this game. But overall, I give them my props. Great season. Man, this sucks.
It does, and there's no guarantee you're going to get back, so you have to take advantage of it. But we all kind of should have expected this. That's why it was such a gut punch, Chad, live on the gut reaction last week when we found out Bo Nix was lost for the season, because the Broncos' chances to win the AFC title and to win the Super Bowl took a massive hit from that point forward. We all put our avatars and our profile pictures to Stidham and Stiddy City, but in reality it's tough to win this game against this team without your starting quarterback. And I give the Broncos credit for fighting this hard and making as much a game of it as they did.
Ted Wonderlick, let's see what the chat has to say. Great to see you, brother, again. Saw you earlier. Here you are again, man. Much love and respect to a dear member and superstar and a friend, saying, damn, it sucks a lot, but I guess once Bo went down, the odds were long regardless. Was a hell of a year, and at least Bo kind of went out on top. That's true. If nothing else, this should motivate the team in 2026, hashtag MHH for life. Dude, that's exactly true. I mean, as I said, Bo Nix plays this game, the Broncos win. Because to me, Zach, I mean, there's multiple little things we could get into relative to the differences we saw today from Jarrett Stidham and what we would expect from Bo. But the biggest one that I had my doubts about all week long, Sean Payton, yeah, he's going to sling and he's going to let it rip. Great. But the doubt I had, Zach, was in the critical moments, the chips are down. You saw today, Jarrett Stidham, you don't get the very best. You don't get the conjuring of Mile High Magic. You get anxiety. You get panic. You get lack of comportment. So, that's the thing, man. When you lose arguably your best player, let alone it being your starting quarterback, Zach, this is what happens. But we had our hopes. Because this season was so magical.
This is exactly what I'm saying, Ted. Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly there. And if there's one takeaway coming out of this game, no matter who's quarterbacking, Chad, it is plainly obvious now. I've been saying it since the start of the season. The Broncos supporting cast is simply not good enough. You need an upgraded running back. I like RJ Harvey. He's not an RB1. You miss J.K. Dobbins. Cortland Sutton is not a wide receiver 1. You don't have a tight end 1. You need wholesale upgrades throughout the offense because when Bo Nix does come back, it cannot be the same supporting cast, Chad. They cannot run it back with who they have this season.
Fat Sertan, a dear member, superstar, saying a blizzard with a backup Q and Sean Payton's play calling trying to get cute was a recipe for disaster. Just take the points, Sean. Take the points, buddy. And, Zach, it's hard to forecast a pretty clutch kicker who's proven himself to be clutch as a Bronco, having a bad day too. But, we can't discount the impact the elements had in this. And that's why, Sean, you should have known better. You knew what the freaking forecast was. I mean, we had an article go up at MHH that I wrote night before last, Zach, on the weather forecast. If the 50 or something thousand people that read that article knew that by the second half it was going to be a blizzard, Sean Payton should have known. Therefore, take the dadgum points, bud.
Yeah, Fat, we mentioned this on the halftime stream. We talked about it all season. Sean Payton just gets in his own way. Sean Payton thinks he's the smartest guy in the room, and Sean Payton ends up outsmarting himself to the team's detriment, and we saw that again. Wil Lutz, listen, it's a blizzard. I don't put it all on him. It's hard to make those kicks, but it's one of those situations where that magic, Chad, just ran out. They just came up short. They didn't have enough to cross the finish line. It's pretty much what I wrote in my blurb for the roundtable. Great season, just not good enough.
Taylor Christensen, good to see you, buddy. My opinion, he says, probably for the best. I'd rather lose now than get hammered in the Super Bowl. Seen it once, Super Bowl 48. True, buddy. It was a great season, though. Such a great run. Go Broncos. That occurred to me about the bottom of the second quarter, Taylor. I actually had that same thought. And I thought to myself, not losing confidence in the Broncos' ability to win this game. I remain confident throughout. But I had that thought enter my head, Zach, seeing this offense just getting stuffed, steady looking sketchy. I'm like, if they go to the Super Bowl, it might be ugly. I mean, the defense can only keep it together for so long with zero help from the offense. Although, again, I credit the defense. The only thing missing from the equation today, Zach, defensively, no takeaways, but they did sack Drake May 5 times. I'm telling you right now, Patriots are going to get annihilated in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I mean, whoever they play, Seahawks or Rams, I think they have a good chance of beating the Patriots. I wasn't overly impressed, though. It's going to sound like sour grapes. I would have preferred, though, I think it was Ted that made that comment, I would have preferred them to win the AFC title and then, I guess, to lose in the Super Bowl. But there was no guarantee, Chad, they would have got blown out in the Super Bowl. They would have had 2 more weeks to prepare, 2 more weeks with Stidham learning the offense. It wouldn't have been a blizzard. You never know what could have happened. I would have preferred, obviously, the Broncos win this football game.
For sure. No doubt. But Casey, what if we had Bo? And why didn't we take the points? The 2 biggest questions. Drop after drop after drop. Great point. We hadn't brought this up yet, Casey. The drops, man. The Broncos drops, including one from Sutton today, man. Like,
every week.
Very clear. Zach, you made an excellent point early. Broncos need some reinforcements in the arsenal, in the offensive weaponry department. And Marvin Mims needs to be a bigger part of the offense moving forward, period, end of story. And Zach, I know Pro Bowler and All-Pro first 2 years as a returner, that does bring value, but I don't care relative to how he can change the game as a receiver on offense. But if we had Bo, Casey, Broncos win this game. I'm telling you. But even with the blizzard and how it was overwhelming both sides, I'm telling you, dude, Bo Nix wins this game.
He doesn't turn the football over. That's the most important thing. He takes care of the ball. And that was the difference in the game. When it's a defensive battle, the elements are ugly. You got to take care of the ball. Every point, every yard is paramount. And I have no qualms about it, Chad. We can't prove it, but no doubt about it. If Bo Nix starts, the Broncos win this game, and they win this game going away. Not even close.
I agree, man. I was very underwhelmed by the Patriots offense before things got ugly with the elements. Shannon, thank you so much. My dear friend, awesome member, awesome Mount Rushmore superstar. Very disappointing, she says, but pardon the pun, it was the perfect storm. No starting Q, no Dobbins, snowstorm to boot. Still close and not a blowout, but we need more weapons on offense, better play calling. Still bleed orange and blue. Go Broncos. Yeah, listen, guys, what a wild ride. Best season of the MHH podcast history in terms of how well the team did. Phenomenal. Epic, absolutely amazing. But guys, now we turn the page to the offseason, and it's going to be hard to kind of exercise the ghost. I'm not going to say the demon, but the ghost of this season and turn the page. But at MHH, that's what we're doing right out of the gates, man. Like, I'm going to the Senior Bowl, flying out tomorrow. Me and Scott are going to be out there rocking and rolling, and we turn the page to find those guys that can help this team win those additional inches, Zach, that they came up short in today.
Yeah, that's what you have to do. You have to forget about this, as tough as it is, and turn the page to the offseason now. The Broncos will have their season-ending press conference, and the next couple days they'll be signing players to reserve future contracts, Chad, and then we go on to, like you said, the Senior Bowl, the Combine, the free agency, and then the draft, and we're on to 2026.
Colin, you have every right to be pissed at Sean. He says, I'm so pissed at him. He alone lost this game. I know, buddy. Would have rather got blown out, honestly. Better than getting creamed in the Super Bowl. Thank you, Colin, dear member, superstar. Look, Sean Payton deserves so much credit for the turnaround of this team and everything he's done, the lightning fast development of Bo Nix, everything. He deserves that credit. But he also, in this particular instance, Zach, deserves a high level of scrutiny and criticism for that decision. It would have actually made a little bit more sense if Bo Nix was the quarterback, because you have game after game after game after game after game after game of sample size to say, I have been to battle in these situations with my quarterback. I know he can make up for us later in the game or on the next possession. You do not have that with Jarrett Stidham. And I'm sorry, like, he deserves criticism. Now, nothing's going to come of it and nothing should, but he does deserve to be criticized for that, because it ended up, Zach, being the difference in this game.
Well, it's amazing when you're winning how many faults can get covered up, because when the Broncos were winning, suddenly Sean Payton's play calling and management wasn't an issue anymore. It was all covered up and papered over. Now in this game, it was plainly exposed, and it's a problem. And he's a great coach, and I give him all the credit for bringing the Broncos to where they are now, but he still is an issue calling plays. I still wonder, Chad, if Davis Webb called plays, how much more effective on a drive-by-drive basis will the Broncos offense be? They won't have these trick plays. They won't outsmart themselves. It's definitely frustrating, especially a week during it when Sean Payton said, oh, we're going to let Stidham rip it. He's fine. Don't worry about him. He sets the bar too high, and then when you lose, it stings that much more.
When the Broncos got past their first 15, Stidham had basically tapped out. Not that he gave up. That's not what I'm saying. But like, he was tapped is what I'm saying. Like, once they got past the first 15, dude, it was kind of curtains for Stiddy. Like, he looked lost. He looked sketchy. He looked anxious. Yeah. And again, this is before the elements, right? The second quarter was pretty dang bad. Ren 99, brother, 100% with you here. That loss was on Payton. Nobody else. Great season regardless. I feel for the team, and if Bo played, we'd win the game. We'll be back next year. Go Broncos. Broncos for life, MHH for life. And that is a phenomenal and completely apt takeaway, Ren. Broncos will be back. Broncos are just getting started. They're just getting started. TDV, what's up, buddy? Good to see you again today. Thank you for the very generous super chat, big dog. Second half offense, I'm not going to lose my mind over it because neither team was doing much, but constantly watching every other team's offense be good or get better, except ours, year after year, is upsetting. That being said, amazing year. I mean, I would argue this isn't the time or place for me to try and pick arguments with our awesome members, like good faith, good-natured arguments. I would argue that the Broncos offense has gotten much, much light years better with Bo Nix over the last 2 years, but it's still a far cry from what it could be and what I believe, honestly, TDV, it will become as time marches on. Bo continues to develop, and the Broncos, Sean Payton, come on, man, get some weapons here. You can't continue to live and die on Lil Jordan Humphreys and the Trent Sherfields and even Pat Bryant. Like, Pat Bryant can't stay on the field, dude. This is concerning.
Well, I'll push back on a previous comment as well. The majority of the blame should fall on the coaching and Sean Payton, but like usual, it's not a one-party system here. How about Jarrett Stidham for actually fumbling the ball? Sean Payton wasn't on the field and fumbled the ball. That's on Jarrett Stidham. That's on the quarterback, and that would have been on Bo Nix if he would have been playing. So there's always multiple culprits, and I have to, just to be fair, put Stidham in that category.
This is a great point, Jordan. 2 plays cost us the game, not going for the easy 3 points, and then Stiddy not throwing it away and giving them the only touchdown they had. Yeah, I mean, honestly, Zach, outside of that first drive in the third quarter, the Broncos absolutely had Drake May's number. Like, he was stymied, dude. Let me give you this cat stat line. You want to credit Drake May for being some kind of Superman that goes and does what no, including Tom Brady, Patriots quarterback, has ever done, and that is win in Denver in the playoffs. He went 10 of 21 for 86 yards, guys. 58 rating. Stidham had a better passer rating than May. But the difference offensively for the Patriots was, Zach, May's 10 rushes for 65 yards, one of which, of course, was that 6-yard touchdown. And then we'll grab Flying Anger Pig.
The difference, as the last comment said, was that turnover, and that's what I'm saying. It's, for as bad as Sean Payton was at times and as much as he outsmarted himself, he wasn't the one who fumbled. That's got to be on the quarterback.
Our dear friend still rocking his meet and greet pick with Zach and myself. That was such an awesome day, man. Yep. Great to see you, pal. It's the coach's fault not taking the points. Stiddy's 2 turnovers, not making the adjustments at half to spy May. We need run blockers, linebackers, tight end, receivers. Love you guys. This is Bo's team. I mean, that's clear now, right, guys? Like, don't get it twisted. Sean Payton can stand up there and talk all day about, and he did what he had to do. What's he going to say, Zach? Are you going to stand up there and say, yeah, man, our chances are really in the gutter now that Stiddy's got to go? Of course he's going to stand up and go to bat for him and keep the messaging strong and optimistic and confident. But we saw in this game, Zach, very clear evidence why Bo Nix is the guy, not Jarrett Stidham.
Yeah, it's true that he's not going to say that, Chad, but what else did he say? He goes, I'm not worried about Stiddy. I'm worried about everybody else. It's comments like that put more pressure on the quarterback, put more pressure on your team, and raise the expectations of the fan base. So when you have a performance like this where the quarterback doesn't let it rip except for one pass and the quarterback doesn't make a difference, it makes you look that worse and it stings that much more. So I agree with you, Anger Pig. It's on the coaches, and they need wholesale upgrades along the roster.
And now, unfortunately, one thing to keep an eye on moving forward is guys like Davis Webb can now go interview for the Raiders job.
Yep.
Vance Joseph, if any offers get made, he's now in a position to move on. So we'll have potentially some coaching news to monitor this coming week. Lady D, let me tell you something. I got to tell you. Lady D, not only rocking and rolling at the top of the MHH Superstar Mount Rushmore 2025, but since the playoffs began all season long, but I want to really, Deanna, emphasize the playoffs, your positivity and optimistic, confident spirit, supportive spirit for this team. I know it made a difference for a lot of people, including your boy here. All right. So I want to thank you for that. I really appreciate you. She says, great season. I'm confident when Bo Nix comes back, we go to the Super Bowl next season. Hope to get a receiver 1 because Sutton drops too many balls. Mims played great. Still proud of our team. Go get some people this offseason, and we will do well. Go MHH for life. And the offseason starts now, including at MHH, obviously, and that begins with the trip to the Senior Bowl.
Yeah, Deanna, I want to echo what Chad said. Thank you so much for all your amazing generosity throughout the season and also showing up to the meet and greet, letting us hang out with you and your husband for a little bit. We had worlds of fun during that, an amazing day, as Chad said there. And again, I find myself nodding in agreement to the points you're making there. Very well said, though. What sucks is, as the Lions found out, Chad, the window in the NFL to get to this point within a play or two or a quarter of the Super Bowl, it's so small and it closes so fast. So there's no guarantee by any means that Bo Nix is going to come back and lead the Broncos. But now we know definitively he is the franchise quarterback. He is going to be set up for success if they make the adjustments, like you said there, get a wide receiver 1, get some upgrades on the offense, and run it back. You have a good chance of returning. But thank you so much again.
Aside from seeing how these coaching situations unfold, the number one priority for the Broncos this year, I'm telling you right now, they've got the offensive line. They can bring Ben Powers back. I mean, he's coming back unless they cut his contract. This is a contract year for him. But number one priority has to be building the nest for Bo Nix. I mean, there's little things on defense we'll get into as the offseason matriculates, but weaponry upgrades, got to get them. Jason Bruton in the house, dude. What's up, pal? Thank you for the super. He says, sorry, this loss is completely at the feet of Stidham. The turnover in the second quarter was the difference. Just take the sack. Huge mistake. Yeah, I mean, I don't think he was quite equal to the opportunity. And unfortunately, we don't get a full, accurate read, kind of in the same spirit, like Scott said as we were going live. Man, I still don't know if the Patriots are worth a damn. We still don't know exactly how good Stidham really is because the elements settled in. However, in the second half, Zach, from the second quarter on, before things got gnarly, yes, it was cold, but second quarter, man, after the Broncos got through their first 15 plays that are schemed and locked in stone before going in the game plan, once he got past that, it was pretty sketchy. Like, he looked like a drowning man, like, throw me the rope, somebody. You know what I mean? And Sean Payton complimented his poise and all that, said it was elite during the week, but you're seeing what, poise in the huddle, Zach, is a completely different thing than poise in the moment, poise in the pocket, poise at the line of scrimmage. It seemed like the situation was a little too much for Jarrett Stidham. And then we got Omar checking in.
Thank you, Omar.
Proving yet again, just like my t-shirt, Broncos country is not a geographic location. It is a state of being. And Omar's checking in from Nigeria. Brother, thank you so much. Dear member, bona fide superstar, Mount Rushmore, says, I'm so upset. Sean Payton lost the game today. Arrogant. We had the game. All the drops. Stidham became a backup. The terrible offensive calls. I hate losing to the Pats at home. I do too, dude. Mainly because McDaniels is still a part of it. I mean, no matter what, hate it, but that's the ultimate gall for me. He says the offense, Zach, needs serious upgrade of inches. Amen. OMG, we blew it. Zach, give some thoughts here for Omar.
No, Omar, thank you so much. And you're absolutely correct. Sean Payton is an arrogant coach. And again, when it works, it's great. And when it doesn't, it's not so great. We got Omar, another super, $100 super. Thank you again, man. I love the Denver Broncos. There are no guarantees for next season, which is why this window we had to win. Exactly my point earlier to Deanna. And then to blow it, it kills me. Much love to all of Broncos country. Thank you, Chad. Thank you, Zach. Thanks for everything. Thank you so much, Omar. Seriously. Not much more to be said. I almost cursed there. It's a very crappy loss, very crappy day, but you make it that much better, Omar. Thank you so much.
Yeah, buddy. Look, I will say with confidence, the Broncos are proved this year. They are a force to be reckoned with moving forward in the AFC. Was it enough for us to say a full changing of the guard in the AFC or even the AFC West? Not necessarily. You can't say that after 1 year, no matter how it shakes out, even if the Broncos had gone on to win the Super Bowl. However, I'm telling you right now, so many of the pieces, almost all of the main pieces, Zach, are locked in. I mean, all the guys that really matter to this team are under contract for the most part next year. Even Jaquan McMillan, who goes into this offseason as a restricted free agent. I think the Broncos just go ahead and extend him, pay him, keep him around instead of even hitting him with an RFA, but that's a point for another time.
Yep.
Omar, love you, buddy. The Broncos, yes, they had to capitalize the things you can't control, as Sean Payton talked about. No matter how good you are, your first objective, win that division. But what you can't control is how the seeding is going to shake out, right? That's always very difficult to control. And that's what the Broncos had in their favor. And Zach, that's also why when we got the news 45 minutes into the gut reaction episode last Saturday, why it was like someone called me and said a close member of the family was in an accident. Like, that was the feeling, right? Because it's hard to get all those stars aligned the way the Broncos had them. Love you, Omar.
That feeling was the season coming to an end out of nowhere, Chad. After a big upset win over Buffalo, then you learn your starting quarterback is out for the year. Still surreal to me, man. Still a gut punch.
William Romero jumping in. Good to see you. Good to have you, buddy. Thank you for checking in on Super Chat. Says, I'm done with the hard RJ Harvey excuses. J.K. Dobbins shined while he failed. We wasted a second-round pick on a running back who clearly can't run well. I don't think it was a wasted second-round pick at all. I think he's a great weapon for this offense, but he's proven that he's not ready, Zach, to be an RB1.
Yeah, and he was never meant to be an RB1. He wasn't drafted to be an RB1 at this point of his rookie season. The ideal pairing was him and Dobbins. So, again, he was disappointing in that role, but he shouldn't have been in that role in the first place. If they get a true RB1, then Harvey would be an excellent complement to him.
I still think what you do is you bring back Dobbins. He was such a fit for this team culture, the offense, all that. You bring him back and go out and also add another running back through the draft. We got Chris Hernandez checking in, brother. Love you, pal.
Thank you, Chris.
With a very generous super chat that is always symbolic. And dear member, Mount Rushmore, he says, next season's outlook, cap money, freeing up. Yeah, that Russ dead money. Goodbye. Knicks will be back, he says. I'm excited for the future. 15-4, the final record for the season. Yeah, buddy. Thank you so much, Chris, for just an awesome, awesome season. Your support helped us do so much stuff, man. And that, I almost said something I shouldn't have, but just your contributions and support, what you bring to this community and helping us keep the lights on, dude. We love you. We appreciate you, big dog. And yes, his final point, I'm excited for the future. Everybody should be. Once we get past this disappointment, I think, Zach, that will be the resonating message. Future's bright.
Because the most important thing is you have number 10 coming back. You have number 10 on your team. And as long as you have number 10, then you're going to be a contender. That's what we learned this season. And that's the most important lesson I'm taking from this loss.
Absolutely. JM Studios jumping in. Looks like we just have to hope, a dear member, by the way, New England gets manhandled in the Super Bowl. Good season without a doubt, though. Yes, brother. Real quick, Scott, right before Chris, whoever that was on screen, we didn't get him. Just FYI, I can't remember who it was, but I'm telling you, JM, I'm right there with you, dog. The Patriots are going to get – this is the game coming up where they get handed the ultimate reality check, in my opinion. Should have been this game with Bo, but football fates decided otherwise. But that moment is coming. They're not winning the Super Bowl.
No, I'd be very, very surprised, especially if they played the Seahawks with that defense. I don't think it's going to even be close.
Almost any other team, though, by the way. Oh, thank you, Jason. Sorry. No, we got that one. Almost any other AFC team, Zach, besides the Patriots or the Chiefs, I'd be rooting for them in the Super Bowl because they're AFC. That's me dating back to when I was a little kid. Ted, brother. But I can't do it for the Patriots, man. No. Ted Wunderlich jumping in again. Second Super. Love you, buddy. Seeing Stidham post first quarter, I think the Super Bowl would have been ugly. Because, look, hashtag MHH for life. Whether you end up going against the Seahawks or the Rams, it's about to kick off the NFC title game. We'll see how it unfolds. Those two defenses, Zach, would have been tough on Stiddy. I mean, Sean Payton, I still have a lot of respect, and I believe he's one of the best offensive minds out there, and he's got swagger and all that stuff. He's creative. He's seen a lot of situations, and that's something that a lot of these younger coaches butt up against. He's been through so many variable situations. He kind of can anticipate things. But whether it's the Rams defense, Zach, the Seahawks, that would have been a tough road to hoe for Stiddy. Uncle Rico's revenge from 5280. Hey, Sean, can you call a play that doesn't go backwards? Sean Payton was New England's 12th man today. I mean, yeah, dude, it was tough. Like, especially when you got to the snow in the second half. Why are you trying to get to the edge? Why are you calling sweeps and tosses out this way, dude? You can't. There's not enough footing to turn the corner. You just got to get downhill. Rico again, third super chat. I blame Sean for everything because he called the dumb play that got Bo hurt. Yeah, dude. I mean, hard to argue that. However, remember, they were doing in that moment, Zach, what had to be done to get the win over what at that point had been a back and forth battle with the Bills. And up to this point, Bo Nix had proven that he had been pretty durable. Like, I have a hard time faulting him for calling that play, but I understand the mindset, Zach, and then we'll grab Crispy.
Well, I mean, if we really want to nitpick because we're all being emotional right now. So Sean Payton didn't really let Bo Nix run the entire season, and he was very steadfast in making him a passer. And then in one game, he makes Bo run like he's Lamar Jackson. So I understand to an extent where that comment's coming from. And if he never would have called a designed run late in the game for your quarterback, maybe Bo Nix starts today. So I definitely could see that logic.
Chris Bell, love you, big dog. Thank you for the support, for being a member. He says, I'm happy but extremely disappointed that we did this in our house. I had a feeling Stidham was going to be a problem. And Sean, no words for him, on to the draft and free agency. Makes me sad that a lot of players and coaches won't be there. Yeah, we'll see how the coaching aspect shakes out. And there will be a time on this podcast where we'll be going through all the free agents and all the draft needs. Guys, we're going to have 3 months of that, right? We're going to have 3 months of just previewing free agency and the draft. And then a long off season. It's going to feel long, but just as always, guys, we'll get through it day to day, doing what we do here at MHH.
Yeah, Crispy, thank you for that. And I know emotions are high right now. It sucks. There's really no words that I'm going to say to try to make you feel better, because nothing's going to make you feel better than winning this game would have. But it was still a tremendous season. It's going to be an exciting offseason, and we'll see what 2026 brings.
I know, Crispy. I mean, the only thing to me that would have been worse, he says, with another Super, I hate that it was against New England as well. The only thing that would have been worse is, losing to the Chiefs or the Raiders or maybe the Chargers. But the fact that Josh McDaniels gets to stick that knife in again, I just hate it, man. I hate it. But look, guys, I mean, we tried to put the lipstick on the pig, so to speak. I hate to use that phrase, but it's a apt one in our situation. But when you lose your franchise quarterback going into a game like the AFC Championship game, dude, like, odds are slim. But we still believed, because once again, Zach, this season had been so magical.
And just because Nick Foles did it in the past, sorry, Chad, it's that,
No.
and every fan thought, oh, well, Stidham was going to be the next Nick Foles. What Nick Foles did that postseason was 1 in a billion. I mean, to expect Jarrett Stidham to reproduce that was too high of expectations, I think, for him.
Not only that, guys, but Foles took over basically the last quarter of the season for the Eagles, played those games, all the playoffs, then the Super Bowl. So, like, he had a lot of reps, and that's one of the problems for Stiddy that I sympathize. As he said at the podium, his first chance to speak on Wednesday, the reps are everything. The reps are everything. And you saw it today, Zach, some timing of the routes with certain receivers. If you notice, most of the off timing stuff was with the receivers that don't run the scout team. It was with the Sutton. It was even that pick at the end to Mims. Like, granted, elements played a bigger role in that than anything, but still, a lot of that is due to the fact that he just didn't get enough reps. You only had 3 practices, basically 3 days of practice, I'll say. It's a fireable offense by Sean not going for a field goal. Why? Definitely for me, not fireable, but he deserves the criticism most certainly.
Yeah, agreed. You can't fire him for a season where he led you to the AFC title game, but you can definitely put a sharper eye and a sharper tongue on Sean Payton, because he deserves it. The play calling and him outsmarting himself has been prevalent the entire season.
Broncos guy checking in. Thank you, pal. Welcome. Says we better go after AJ and Brees in the offseason. I like it. Zach, as a couple of early targets to keep front of mind. Jordan Lewis, brother, dear member, checking in on Super Chat. This one does sting. He says, missed opportunities, poor play calling, and an inconsistent run game. The defense played so well. Proud of this team. I mean, look, the Patriots are going to say, the elements, but dude, at the half, the Patriots had well under 100 total yards. They were at what was it? It was something like 40-something yards to Denver's already in the triple digits. And then the elements only exacerbated that, of course, for both teams. But definitely, I agree with you, bud. Proud of this defense. It played, as we said, we're like, man, they need to return to the pre-bye form. I think they did. The only missing ingredient was the takeaways. But, Zach, that was the pre-bye form. If they could have gotten some help from the offense in the second half, they win this game, even in the face of no Bo, even in the face of the elements.
I'm proud of the entire team, not just the defense, but the offense. And I'm proud of everyone who hung in there despite, like you said, Chad, losing your franchise quarterback moments learning of that moments after you beat a team in the divisional round, you're going into the AFC title game, that would kill the magic for anyone. So I don't necessarily blame them. It was a tremendous year. It sucks that it fell short, but still a wildly successful year.
Honestly, I think I'm rooting for the Rams to go all the way because I can't bring myself to root for the Seahawks. And to heck with the Patriots. Drew, good to see you, pal. Thank you for the super chat saying, let's be honest, our O-line sucks at run blocking. How many times and O-lines linemen get pushed back into the running back? This is not RJ's fault. Been happening all season. Just look at Javante's success in Dallas. There's some truth to it, but I would point to you how well it looked when J.K. Dobbins was the running back. I don't remember anyone complaining about the run blocking then. So that's all I'm saying is, just like anything with football, that's part of the beauty of football is like it's so much of a collective effort. Everybody has to be doing their part, Zach. All the little components and pieces have to flow together synergistically. And without the running back, though, makes it really hard on these O-linemen. But I don't disagree with you that they have not risen to the occasion with RJ.
I haven't dived deep into it, but I do wonder, theoretically, is the offensive line worse since Ben Powers came back and Palcho went out? Sure seems that way.
Dude, I was thinking the opposite. That, man, I was so ready for Ben Powers to come back, but I think you might have a point there, bro. Drew jumps in again saying, not on Sean, rewatch. Wattenberg, Troutman, even Miners missing big run blocks. Our run scheme is bad all season. Every run play, there's an unblocked defender in the hole. I feel you on that, dude. But especially like second half, Troutman, RJ on, I think it was the second to the last possession the Broncos had in the game. Dump off on 2nd and 9. And if Troutman makes his block, goes for 1 yard. If Troutman makes his block, that goes for a big gain in the 20s probably for RJ. Again, comes back to the game of inches stuff. And the Broncos, they need a better receiving tight end, Zach, and they need a guy who can fricking block, dude. Fox family, dear member, dang, really tough, he says. Patriots played badly. We need playmakers. Sutton is not a receiver one. We need tight ends, running backs. Yeah, we need weapons, Zach.
Every skill player that the Patriots have at receiver, like Diggs, he's better than Cortland Sutton. I'm sorry, as a wide receiver one, he is. Hunter Henry is a better tight end one, than Evan Ingram is. And Travion Henderson is a better RB1 than RJ Harvey is. So yeah, you need to upgrade Bo Nix's supporting cast. Absolutely.
Lady D jumping in again from the top rope because she is just thebomb.com. She says, I agreed. We need to get Macmillan locked down. Hit the like button, share, and subscribe. Thank you for that message, Deanna. Definitely need to bring in offensive players to protect Bo. Going to matter who we end up getting as DC2. David says, this is her husband, he wants to go to the meet and greet. Sick. And Zach, she's sharing a brain with you on Romo. I dislike Romo, she says. Go Broncos, MHH for life. Well, yeah. Next season's meet and greet is going to be lit. We'll see how the schedule shakes out. We know the opponents. We don't know the schedule yet, but that'll be awesome.
Yeah, we already know, Deanna, we're looking forward to seeing you and David there. We're looking forward to hanging out with each and every one of you. It's always fun. Last year's was definitely far and away the best, and it's partly because you were there, Deanna. Thank you so much.
Ernie Gandolfo checking in to say our 2 all-pro offensive linemen did not show up today. The Broncos O-line is severely overrated. I've said that for years. We lost the game in the trenches, and we shouldn't have. I don't know if I'd put too much on Bowlesy, but Quinn Miners sure got jerked around hard by this Patriots defense, gave up a brutal sack, gave up a lot of pressures, and he's your all-pro, dude. There was maybe one pressure Bowles gave up that I can recall, and it was on the very first possession, that third down throw. I thought Bowles, for the most part, on one viewing, mind you, played pretty well, but he might have a point, Zach. I don't know about being under or overrated for the past several years, but maybe they are a little bit overrated in terms of the run blocking and just overall consistency.
I do think they're better suited and better built for a pass blocking unit. And it's tough, though, when you rotate your left guard because of injury, then you rotate your center because of injuries. At what point, Chad, you were on 3 different centers this season? That's tough when he's the quarterback of the offensive line. So it's a lot of mixing and matching. So I don't necessarily blame the O-line as the main culprit.
I really want to know how close J.K. Dobbins was because, man, he could have made such a difference in this game. Such a difference. Brian McGahee, a dear member, checking in to say, great season. A lot to look forward to. Hey, no longer holding that dead cap money from Russ. I fully expect Sean to get some backup for Bo. Hell of a season. Definitely hell of a season. And yeah, man, that's where I think, the emphasis really has to be in a similar vein, Zach, as how John Elway in 2014, after the brutal humiliation of Super Bowl 48, invested hard on the defensive side in that offseason, where Talib, TJ Ward, Darian Stewart came the next year. That was the emphasis. I really think if you want to see Bo reach those next levels of what is possible in his development, got to get him those weaponry upgrades and just overall support on offense and literally build the nest. Grizz T, and then I'm serving it back to you, Zach. I like going forward on 4th and 1, but a screen pass, just run the QB sneak. We would have won 14-10. Payton was trying to be the smartest guy in the room on that play. Love you guys. Been watching since 2020. Dude, that's awesome, bro. Thank you for sticking with us all these years, Grizz. Appreciate you, big dog.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right, echoing everything that we've been saying and everything that's pretty much a common sense approach to looking at this game for the Broncos. A lot of it was on the coaching. A lot of it was on Sean Payton, but that's, Grizz, a continuing theme. Obviously, you watch the games this year. Sean Payton, his ego, his pride as a play caller, it gets the best of him, and it trickles down as a detriment to the rest of the team. It's very unfortunate.
All right, we got Sam Bam checking in, another dear member and bona fide Mount Rushmore superstar. He says, darn. Still, it was a hell of a season. We still have our QB and head coach for the next 10, 13 years. Was too much to ask City to put up points in that weather in the second half. Future's bright, though. On to 2026. Go Broncos. I'm telling you guys, and yes, tough road to hoe for Stiddy, especially the way it unfolded weather-wise in the second half, but I'm telling you right now, dude, Bo Nix wins that game. Broncos will be in the Super Bowl. Ifs and buts, candy and nuts. That's not the world we live in, unfortunately, because he did get hurt. But I think Stiddy gave it the old college try. Did his best, Zach. But, there's a reason he's the QB2 and Bo's the QB1.
In the lead up to the game, it was do it for Bo as like win the game for Bo. Now they need to do it for Bo as in get him more weapons on offense because they just cannot. We're going to be saying that a lot over the course of the next couple months. They cannot run it back with a supporting cast as this season.
We got Cullen jumping in again to say a frickin' screen on 4th and 1 in the red zone. No excuse. Yeah, bad play call. If you're going to go for it, you got to do better than that. DJ Capo checking in, buddy. Good to see you. He says, trade Sutton, Lil Jordan. We need a big running back. Fire Sean. Bring in a young coach. Jarrett cracked under pressure and was holding the ball like Russ. Yeah, holding on to it too long. Agree on that, dude, on the last point, DJ. But I'm not with you on the fire and Sean. But I understand the emotions right now. And you are obviously justified to have your feelings at this bitter, disappointing stage of where we're at. Okie engineer Zach, Sean needs to surrender play calling. Lose and contain on the quarterback on that play is malfeasance. That happened a lot, Zach, relative to Drake May. That's the only nit, in my opinion, you can really pick in the Broncos' defensive performance today is their caging of May sucked. They got after him really well, but they left too many lanes open.
Yeah, malfeasance, very good word there. It should happen. We all want to see it happen, but it's never going to happen as long as Sean Payton's calling the shots in Denver. And as far as I know, he still is. We all want to see Davis Webb get a crack at it, but it's looking like Davis Webb is going to become a head coach before he's going to become a play caller in Denver. That's what happens when you consolidate so much power like Sean Payton has in the organization.
Boot Boy, the Chaos Josh says, we can nitpick everything. Drops, play calls, Lutz, take your pick. We all knew when we lost Bo, season was over. But what a season it was. Hashtag took the 60 bus out of downtown Denver, Benzanano. Right there with you, big dog. I think, in our gut of guts, maybe some folks in Broncos country could admit to that. But I still think the Broncos, look, guys, if Sean Payton makes a better decision, but let's just say, fine, he goes for it on 4th, it doesn't work. Wil Lutz. How often do you see Wil Lutz miss? I mean, I know it was a 54-yarder, but you don't expect that if you're Sean Payton. You're expecting your kicker to hit those kicks. And then late in the fourth quarter, they get a good break with that terrible punt and the field position battle starting to inch Denver's way. They get just steady with that run. Credit to him. Get 7 yards on that third down to buy a few extra yards for the field goal. And it gets tipped, dude. It gets blocked because maybe the handle of the ball kind of was a little bit sketch. Crawshaw got it there in time, but any interruption, Zach, to a kicker's stroke that what he sees visually, it can make a difference. And it did there. And I think that's why it kind of came out low, why the Patriots guy was able to get up and kick and touch it. MJ, brother, says Mike Tomlin, Sean McDermott, Vance Joseph, or a head coach. I think so. Defensive coordinator, is he talking about defensive coordinator, Zach? I'm not sure what he's talking about.
I have no idea. MJA, please clarify.
We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens if that's what you're talking about, bro. Leaky Buffer, sorry. Welcome. Thank you, Big Dog, for the super chat. I hope Sean Payton, he says, is held to the decision not to go for points. Make him carry that the rest of his career. As for Stiddy, 1 touchdown, 2 turnovers. Not good enough. With the negativity off my chest. You guys are legit. The best Broncos podcast. Thank you, brother.
Thank you.
Keep up the great work. Hope we have new great opportunities next year. Go Broncos. Well, MHH, from the time I started this thing many years ago, over a decade ago, we pride ourselves on the offseason. That's where we do our best work. So keep riding with us, guys, because our draft coverage and our analysis of free agency and all the way through, man, keep it with us. We're just getting started. 2026. Here we go.
Yeah, Leaky, thank you so much for that support. And I know it hurts now. And this is the forum for you to get that negativity off your chest. So we're happy that you did. But with that out of the way now, we're on to the next season. And we're looking forward to having you in the fold.
We've got Brad Murdoch in the hizzy. Thank you so much, Big Dog, for the super chat and for being a member. Off the top rope, he says, shout out to everyone. We had a great season. This game showed just how important Bo is to this team with his leadership and skills. The run game was needed big time today, and we just don't have it without JK. You know what we also missed? I mean, Stiddy took off a couple of times, and that one designed RPO was nice, right, where he took the corner. It was a planned deal. But in elements like this, look, that tackle on Bo last week, Zach, where he got injured was a freak thing. Perfect angle, right amount of pressure, weird sitch, got injured. But this was exactly the kind of game you needed a tough dual threat quarterback like Bo Nix to be able to handle those elements, and he'll be coming back. If you missed the report earlier today, Adam Schefter says that the timetable on Bo Nix's recovery is 12 weeks. It lines up for him to be part of most of the offseason program, if not all of it. And then also word from the doctors is that there's no reason to expect in any way, shape, or form that this injury, Zach, will impact him long-term. So he'll be back. He'll bounce back. So will the Broncos.
As long as they supplement Bo Nix with a legitimate supporting cast, not these half measures, not taking a running back in the second round, a receiver in the third round, and re-signing Cortland Sutton, to an extension, chat. You need to bring in some legitimate blue chip stud talent through free agency, through the trades, and through the draft. Because you have a franchise quarterback now going into his third season. You have to put at least one, no doubt legitimate weapon around him. At least one. He doesn't have that right now.
I mean, even look right now, we're seeing in this Rams Seahawks game, Jackson Smith and Jigba, we're seeing Puka making plays. Like, you need that game-changing wide receiver. Guys, lots more to get to, obviously, even though we're already 48 minutes in, there's still plenty in the chat that we got to get to. But you know what? Things didn't go our way. I know what I do sometimes when I'm not feeling the best, but sometimes I'll eat my stress away. I'll eat my bad feelings away. And I got to tell you, that goes to explain partly where this dad bod comes from. I've worked hard to maintain this, but listen up. Goldbelly, my mind's already been thinking Goldbelly as soon as this game ended. It is this amazing site, guys, where you can get the most iconic, famous foods from around the country, all the best restaurants in the U.S., and it's perfect for game day. Super Bowl is going to be coming up. We're not in it, but everybody goes to a Super Bowl party. Plus Valentine's Day coming up. Anything else you got going on, guys, seriously, so amazing. Goldbelly will ship you iconic Chicago deep dish pizza from Lou Malnati's, the original buffalo wings from Anchor Bar in Buffalo, Guy Fieri's unbelievable trash can nachos, real actual Philly cheesesteaks, or even the legendary Franklin's barbecue straight from Texas to your door. And again, with Valentine's Day coming up, the Super Bowl, they also have great gifts like award-winning dinners from Peter Luger Steakhouse and even the exact cake served at JFK's wedding to Jackie O.
Yeah, the Philly cheesesteak really caught my eye, and it was absolutely delicious. It was high-quality grub delivered straight to my door, and it lived up to the lofty expectations I had and the legend of the Philly cheesesteak. It was like having a culinary piece of Philadelphia shipped to me hassle-free. Sometimes you don't know where you're going to get quality-wise from online food ordering sites, but Goldbelly absolutely delivers. This tasted legitimately amazing. So whether you're looking to turn game day into an unforgettable experience with friends or want to impress a loved one on Valentine's Day, go to goldbelly.com and get 20% off your first order with promo code MileHigh. That's goldbelly.com, code MileHigh for 20% off your first order.
All right, we got the Papa Bear, another shining light of optimism, good faith, and support all season long, all year long. Here he is, a dear member, Mount Rushmore superstar, saying, what a great season. And by the way, Papa Bear, under this MHH hoodie, I'm rocking my Buckham t-shirt. I'm right there with you, big dog. And yes, it was a great season. It really was. MJ jumping in to clarify. Thank you, bro. I was asking if Denver decides to let Sean Payton go, would you guys want as head coach Mike Tomlin, Sean McDermott, or run it back with VJ? Sorry for the typo earlier. Well, first of all, that ain't going to happen. In no way, shape, or form, guys, will Sean Payton's job be in jeopardy. Yes, really bad decision. It kind of exposed him. He's exposed a little bit right now. He's going to have to face the firing squad on that. But he's not going anywhere. He's very much in the good graces of the ownership group. And look what he just achieved. I mean, but even if, let's just for a second, Zach, say if Denver decides, as he's asking here, well, Mike McTomlin, latest report says he's officially done coaching. Like he's done. He's never going to coach again. Sean McDermott, though, Zach, Vance Joseph, what do you think?
No, all three guys have one thing in common. They're defensive coaches. You need an offensive coach for Bo Nix. So it's not going to happen, as Chad said there, MJA. They're not letting Sean Payton go. But in the different universe where they will or would, I would like Nate Scheelhaase, the Rams passing game coordinator. He interviewed for a few head coaching jobs. He's going to be a future head coach from the Sean McVay tree. If I'm the Broncos, my next head coach would be an offensive mind to pair with my young quarterback. But we don't have to worry about that because Sean Payton's, for better or for worse, he's not going anywhere.
It's for the better. I mean, it stings right now, but guys, I mean, look how he turned this team around in 3 short seasons. You're in the AFC Championship game, and you win it if you have Bo Nix. Let's be honest. Bronco for life checking in saying, go for 3, man. Stid ain't it. All points. We needed all the points we could get. Yeah, that's a decision that's, I believe, Zach, going to keep Sean Payton up at night. Then again, he's so, I'll just use the word confident, arrogant, whatever you want to say, that he probably goes, man, I was right. If my kicker hits his 2 kicks, we win this game.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. Antoine Curry, $5 super. Thank you, Antoine. Payton cost us Bo with that run call versus the Bills. Then cost us this game with play calls, new play caller next year. Yeah, we've been touching on this throughout the podcast tonight. They're not going to have a new play caller because Sean Payton's not giving up that responsibility. It's why they're going to let Davis Webb walk out the door for a different opportunity. But the run play with Bo Nix, I could see where that's coming from. You ran those design runs more against Buffalo than you really have the entire season. It was one time too many, and it sucks that it's how it worked out.
I hope somebody's, by the way, advising Davis Webb that, hey, look, maybe there's the whole argument of you don't look a gift horse in the mouth. Opportunity doesn't always knock twice. But knowing that you've got Bo Nix for the next many years, don't take this Raiders job. You want to go suffer in purgatory and be gone in a year, by all means, go take the job. You'll make a ton of money, sure, and then come right back. But I would wait because the Broncos are a team that's going to be around for a while now as a contender. Bo Nix is going to continue, and Sean Payton to make you look really good. Don't go to a place like the Raiders. Jordan jumps in again to say Dobbins is too injury prone. Go out and pay for a running back without an injury history. Hufanga, please practice catching a ball. Too many drop picks. It's like the old adage, Zach, that they play defense for a reason, right?
Exactly.
Casey Nickel jumping in again as I digest this more, he says, and I realize how many players we have coming back. Knowing how special this group is, we will be a destination spot for free agents. Get Bo his weapons. I do think that worm has turned to Denver's favor. It's now a very, very attractive free agent destination. I agree with you on that. And that has to be a priority this offseason. Again, for the 10th time this podcast, you got to get Bo some weapons.
No excuses. Yeah. Russ's contract's coming off the books. You'll have the room and maneuverability. You have draft picks. Zero excuses for Sean and George not to get Bo his supporting cast that he so dearly deserves.
Denver Broncos for life. A dear member checking in on Super Chat. Not sure why I got skipped, but sorry, dude. Just the hustle bustle. If that happened, forgive us. It's just the kind of a crazy night, really busy. We would never do that on purpose. You know that, big dog. This is one bad throw and one bad 4th and 1 call away from a possible win, and the drops, embarrassing. And just the missed field goals, as he's pointing out in his second super. Coach and Lutz and Stidham blew it. Should have took the points. Seems like they didn't really want it, and that makes me angry. One wrong call away. Yeah, I didn't get the vibe that they didn't really want it. I did get the vibe, in the second half, that feeling that the offense, that confidence and the belief that the offense developed over the last 2 years, but especially this season, when they got to have something, they got to create, whether it's late or just we're down. They have that faith and trust in Bo, and you could see it in their vibe and out in their aura, right? In their energy. That was absent today in the second half, if we're honest. Now, look, the elements did cloud it quite a bit, but you didn't see that find a way, make a way spirit from the offense is what I'm talking about. Especially in the second half, they would have had, Zach, with Bo. And otherwise, I thought the defense did a damn good job. So special teams failure, coaching failure, beleaguered and in over his head quarterback. End of story.
Yeah, it looked to me like in the latter part of the game, third and fourth quarter, it looked like it hit the offense that they don't have Bo Nix. Like they realized that they're on their backup quarterback, and it just kind of all sunk in, and the gravity of it all kind of weighed on them at once. That's the impression I got, and the magic just ran out. It was a great season, just the magic fell just short.
Exactly. Zach Lee Butler jumping in. Sean's arrogant behavior and play calling came home to roost today. If he would have acted like he had a QB2 in there, not a QB 1.5, we may have done better. Yeah, I mean, he did his best as a leader to speak Stiddy into existence, and maybe it would have worked, guys, if the elements didn't play such a big part as it did, but I don't think so. I think you saw Stiddy, unfortunately, in the stakes of this game and against a quality opponent. You saw him, Zach, butt up very hard against his ceiling in the second quarter before things got sketchy weather-wise. Bo Nix, Zach says, is in the top 5 wins for quarterbacks that have not made a Super Bowl. He's a winner, guys, and he'll get his chance again. He'll be back.
Yeah, it'll happen for him, Zach. He'll get there. He just finds a way to win. He has that gene, as we learned this season. And that was the takeaway, is the Broncos, no doubt about it, have their franchise quarterback. And the one thing that Sean Payton was right about, Chad, is that he said Bo will be a top 5 guy the next 2 or 3 years. That I could see transpiring.
Totally. Especially if you get him some freaking weapons, dude.
Yeah.
Like, I love Cortland Sutton. I love the leadership he brings to the table. He's great in the red zone. He can be great in 50-50 balls, but he has been really inconsistent this year with his hands. You need a dynamic guy. That ain't him. As good as he still is, Pro Bowl caliber though he is, not caliber, Pro Bowler though he is, you need a game changer. Sutton's not that. Spartan 2492, brother, thank you for the generous top rope super. Says, I'm proud of the Broncos going this far. I asked that they win the division, unseat the Chiefs, I'm adding on here. They did. They went farther than they did with the financial strapped down on Wilson's cap contract on the Broncos from the last 2 seasons. Yeah, that's why, guys, again, we're disappointed. Sean Payton's got some shoulda, woulda, coulda. Definitely he's got to look himself in the mirror, but Sean Payton has done an amazing job of turning this franchise around and doing more with less, right? That's $85 million, Zach, over the last 2 years that other teams got to spend on players that the Broncos didn't. And that changes now. You move into the 2026 offseason. The last I looked at it off the top of my head, it's something like $34 million in cap space, and most of their guys that they need already locked up. So they're in really good shape relative to the cap. Got their draft picks.
Exactly.
Future's very bright.
That was my thing. Yeah, they also have one of the best drafters in the NFL in George Payton. So they'll make do on those, or make hay on those draft picks, but not a defensive back this time. Please draft an offensive player with their first round pick. Please get Bo his guys by any means necessary.
Gene, the brace girdles, says, man, the whole fam is sad, man. Can't believe it, honestly. Wasted performance from our defense. Yeah, but, again, guys, on one hand, you go, writing was on the wall when Bo went down, right? And then you think about the way this game unfolded. If Sean Payton takes the points, it's at least going to overtime, right? If Sean Payton took those points, it's at least going to overtime. If one of those two kicks by Lutz goes through, Broncos are going to the Super Bowl, and it might not be pretty, whatever takes place. But with a defense as good as the Broncos is, maybe anything's possible. But chin up, take the day, take some time, brace girdles, and let this one sink in. But also while you're doing that, Zach, my message to the brace girdles and everyone else is celebrate the reality, the realization, the proven fact that the Broncos have officially climbed out of the NFL cellar and have become once again one of the top franchises in the NFL, and that ain't going to change anytime soon.
What's that old expression? Don't be sad it's over, be happy that it happened. That's how I think Broncos fans should approach looking at this season. I didn't see. I'll be point blank. Period. I thought the Broncos would get back to the postseason. They would win a playoff game. I didn't think they would make the AFC Championship and be within that close of reaching the Super Bowl with their backup quarterback, I might add. So a massively tremendous season, successful season, and I give them a lot of credit. So that's how we need to look at this through that view, not the bitterness of losing in this game.
The deck was stacked against them, guys. And yes, they were playing with house money, but they had a lot going against them. Even though it was at home, Broncos country was awesome today, braving it in the elements. But when you lose your franchise quarterback, man, this is how the chips typically fall. Ralph Bracegirdle jumping in. Gene's pops, dear buddy, great supporter, saying, Nick Kendall will be happy that we can start talking draft now. It was a great season. Well, Nick and Eric and Carl and Lance and our draft guys, man, they take a lot of pleasure and look forward to draft season, but don't get it twisted. They are as disappointed right now as everybody else. Trust me on that. They wanted a Broncos win, come what may in the Super Bowl. But, this is where MHH really gets to shine with the draft season in particular. So, Naj, brother, he says, guys, hey, brothers, I'm sick to my stomach. I feel for the players, the fans. So hard to get to that position, and to beat yourself makes it so much worse. Good point, man. It makes it that much more bitter. The way the defense plays, Naj says, we just can't lose that. We need to stay positive and hope we get the chance again. Well, we'll see what happens, Naj, with VJ. But I'm still pretty confident, Zach, that if he does end up leaving for a head coaching job, they won't miss much of a beat with Jim Leonhard. Jim Leonhard has been kind of groomed to be the potential successor. And the good news is you go around the horn real quick. We're already long on time, but real quick, Zach, on defense, all the key guys, Nick Bonito, Jonathan Cooper, Zach Allen, Malcolm Roach, DJ Jones. I'll throw Dre Greenlaw in there, Pat Surtain, Talanoa Hufanga, and even Brandon Jones locked in, still under contract, as well as Riley Moss, although guys like Moss, guys like Mims on offense, they're entering a contract year. But my point here is the personnel, Zach, for the most part, is going to stay intact. The key guys, they do have some decisions to make at linebacker, like do we bring back Singleton and or Justin Sternad? But overall, guys, all those horses, they're coming back. So the biggest question isn't so much, Zach, personnel, it's who's going to be calling the plays.
Yeah, thank you, Naj. The Broncos have been beating themselves the entire season. I've been saying that on this podcast and on KK the entire season. The Broncos' biggest enemy are the Broncos and shooting themselves in the foot and not getting out of their own way. And that was epitomized this afternoon in the biggest game of the season, unfortunately. So you're right, it sucks, but we appreciate your support. Thank you, man.
Trini jumping in. What's up, buddy? The cards were stacked against us all season, and we made it to the top of the mountain and slipped. Now the uphill climb back. Thank you, Broncos. We almost made it to the top. We were like one more step away, and that's where we lost our footing. I feel you, buddy. Thank you, pal. We got Shannon checking in one more time. Mount Rushmore to say, do you think there's any way Sean gets told to relinquish play calling duties by ownership? No, because honestly, like we can criticize some of his decision making and at times play calling, but guys, coaches across the fruited plain, they're going to get criticized for their play calling at times. Part of the resume, part of what makes Sean Payton as coveted as he is as a coach is his scheme, is his play calling, imperfect though it is, Zach. So that's my feeling. I don't think anything, the status quo on that, in my opinion, in terms of what to genuinely expect moving forward, that ain't going to change. I don't think.
They're not going to fix what isn't broken, because if you think about it from their point of view, and they're extremely hands-off as an ownership group to begin with, but Sean Payton with Bo Nix, got the Broncos to the AFC title game. Bo Nix is coming back, a la Sean Payton is not being forced to relinquish. But it's a good thought, Shannon, for sure. Thank you.
Yeah, no doubt. We love you, Shannon. Missed jumping in, buddy. Dear member, superstar saying, with this, what a season, Broncos country. I hope we grab some weapons next season and the team can grow together more. Thanks for being such a great channel for all us Broncos fans. MHH for life. Thank you, big dog, and for being a member and all your support this whole year, man. We're turning the page. Today's going to be tough. Tomorrow's going to suck getting up and going to work and everything, but we're turning the page to the offseason and the mission for the Broncos to get, really, to use their own hashtag, Zach. What's it going to take for them to climb higher in 2026?
Yep. Thank you, Jay.
It's Migs 11B jumping in. Welcome. This loss, is a blessing in disguise. Now, other teams won't pursue our players as hard. We will have cap space to sign new players. I mean, the only thing I see as a blessing in disguise is, second quarter to me made it again very apparent that if we do make it to the Super Bowl in a clean environment, no elements and all that, I think it would maybe have gone pretty badly for Stiddy. That to me is but that's kind of a loser mindset. Like, well, at least we didn't go to the Super Bowl because we would have gotten our butts kicked. No, I'm not going to actually embrace that as a mindset. But do you see this, Zach, in any way, shape as a blessing in disguise?
Not really, but if I had to reach for one, it's that Bo Nix is, no doubt about it now, the team's obviously number one quarterback, a franchise quarterback, and he's obviously one of the better quarterbacks in the NFL because, as you said, as I said, as a lot of Broncos fans feel, if number 10 was on that field today, they'd be going to the Super Bowl right now.
They would, and they'd have just as good a chance as anyone to win it. Yep. Tim Hoffman, please focus on bringing in some bigger backs. Yeah, they need some power, man. Drew jumping in again, too. Everyone needs to relax on Sean. He is the reason we were in the AFC title game in the first place. He drafted Bo. He also had the cashews to not only bench Russ, but say, I'm sorry, organization that just dropped $250 million on this quarterback and gave up a crap ton of draft picks. It ain't going to work with this guy. You guys are deluding yourself. I'm benching him. We're moving on from him in the offseason. A lot of coaches, man, they don't have the stones to do that. So that's vision, right? That's confidence. And yes, he's the one that brought in Bo, Zach.
A lot of coaches don't make $18 million a year and have that job security, but there's a lot more good than bad when it comes to Sean Payton. Absolutely.
Leaky Buffer again. Thank you, buddy. Says, should we still prioritize getting defensive and offensive line pieces over more receivers? Look what Bo did this year. Do we really need receivers over, I think he's saying, big D and O-line players? Yes. I mean, you have Garrett Bowles is old. It would be good to draft a tackle to have someone truly developing. I mean, their argument is that we've got a guy we're developing. His name's Frank Crum. But it would be good to bring in some developmental backup for Bowlesy. But even though, Zach, he's 32, he's got very for his age, low tread on his football tires because, he went on a mission after high school, only played 1 year of Division I football. So he's a young 32, and that whole offensive line is locked up. I really think the focus has to be, sure, O-line depth leaky, yes, but it's got to be getting this offense for Bo some weapons, man. Look at how the Seahawks are running their screen game. Sean Payton loves running screens, right? It's such a huge part of his offense. Look at how the Seahawks execute as you watch this game today and see and ask yourself, why are they so much better able to execute this kind of stuff? And I'll tell you, a big part of it, Zach, is the personnel.
Well, they also have to figure out, I think, at center. The best really offensive line configuration. Is Palcho starting at left guard, or is it Ben Powers coming back? Who's starting at center? Is it Wattenberg, Forsythe? Are they going to do something there? But yeah, the number one priority before anything else is getting Bo Nix more weaponry.
Miggs jumping in again saying Stiddy did enough to win the game. I don't blame him for the missed field goals. Missed drops and play calling mistakes at key moments. That's where I understand what you're saying, but the 2 turnovers were on him. It's not like someone else turned those balls over. That was Stiddy. And look, Stiddy was as responsible for the loss as anyone out there. He just wasn't up for the challenge, man, and it compounded the toughness of it, those elements, man. It really did. Thank you, Doc, James, brother. Love you. Right back at you. Dear friend, superstar member. Appreciate you, big dog. Adventure Soldier, we're about out of time here, guys. Jumping in and say, I blame the singer of the Star Spangled Banner. You didn't like it? It was kind of unique, right? Not very projecting. He picked a lower pitch to sing it, so it was kind of like mid the whole time. Just kidding, he says, though. We looked better than last year, and we looked way better than the last pre-Payton Bo combo, pre-Payton and Bo combo. Love to 19, Marvin Mims. Cheers to next season. Go team. Well, Soldier, don't go anywhere, big dog, because we're about to attack this offseason. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, cheers to you, Soldier. Cheers to all of you, Broncos country. It was an amazing year, and we were happy to be along for the ride.
Amen here, Brad Murdoch. I'm excited, he says, for what the future holds for this team. Thanks for a great show, Chad and Zach. Go Broncos. Thank you, big dog.
Thank you, Brad.
Really appreciate you. Jamal Killings with the coolest name in Broncos country. Jumping in, a dear member, longtime superstar, saying, I'm proud of the Broncos. We need a playmaker, receivers, etc. We also need a run game to help Bo. Great season, and this is where I want to emphasize, we'll be back. Denver Broncos for life. And I think that's a great way, Zach, to close things out. We got a couple messages for you. Don't go yet. We'll take one last look at the chat, but the best is yet to come for this team, guys.
Another tremendous installment, as always, of the Mile High Huddle podcast, a special gut reaction podcast. If you haven't done so yet, please follow us on X at the MHH pod. You can follow the main account on X at Mile High Huddle, Chad at Chad and Jensen, myself at Kelberman NFL, and Scott, our producer, at Scout Kennedy. If you guys want some merch like we're rocking each and every single show, check out MHHmerch.com and get you some. If you haven't done so yet, please drop us a like at Facebook.com/Mile High Huddle pod. You can find us on Instagram at mile_high_huddle. If you haven't done so yet, please join our Discord server. The link is in the description below. Come chat with us, hang out with us. If you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, make sure you're leaving your football priest a 5-star review for a chance to win some merch each and every single month. But if anything, y'all, please, very important as always that you subscribe, you like, you share this video and every video you see on the MHH channel. It really helps us grow and reach more Broncos fans just like you.
Honestly, gang, I would stay on here and keep the chat going for another hour, but there's a lot of work that we have to get done at milehighhuddle.com to cover the events of this game. So love you, appreciate you. Before we dip on out of here, Mile High salute and a special shout out to all our great Super Chat superstars, supporters, all the members who have made this such a phenomenal season. And as we exercise the demon of this bitter disappointment, get it out of your system tonight, guys. Your football priest, we're going to be here to help you do that, but keep it with us because the 2026 offseason now begins. Getting back, climbing higher, getting over the hump. Shout outs, Ted Wunderlich, Fat Sertan, Taylor Christensen, Casey Nickel, Colin Dunham, Ren 99, Jordan Mall, Flying Anger Pig, Jason Bruton, William Romero, Denver Broncos for Life 89, JM Studes, Uncle Rico's Revenge, Shannon Mills, Mount Rushmore, Arth, Bronco Guy, Jordan Lewis, TDV, Lady D, multiples from Lady D, and Cullen, and so many of you. Uncle Rico as well. Drew, Fox Family Breaks, Ernie Gondolfo, Brian McGahee, Grizz T, Chris Bell. Let's see here. DJ Capo, Okie Engineer. Appreciate you, buddy. Dropping the word of the day, Zach. Malfeasance.
Yeah.
Let's see. We got new member jumping in. Denver Syntax. Welcome, buddy. Omar from the top rope.
Thank you, Omar.
Chris from the top rope. Hernandez. Chaos Josh, the boot boy. MJ. We got Leaky Buffer multiples. Let me see here. Papa Bear. Bronco for Life. Let's see here. Antoine Curry. Did we get Antoine?
Yep.
Yep, we did. I said Casey Nichols. Sam Bam. Let's see. Zach Lee Butler. Gene and Ralph Bracegirdle. Love you, boys. Trini, Flat Earth Trini. Let's see. Brad Murdoch. Mist for Jay. Celebrating Frank here as a 1 month member. Appreciate you, buddy. It's Migs. Let's see here. Spartan 2492. Let me see here. Just phenomenal support tonight. Naj. Love you, bro. I'll be in touch soon. Doc James. Adventure Soldier. In case I might have mentioned it already, but Tim Hoffman, Jamal Killings, and then George Fox jumping in. Much love and respect. Sorry, dude. Tough. The chat is like overwhelming tonight. We will make it up to you. If we missed anybody on Facebook, believe that we will make it up to you. But guys, we got to dip out for now. Tomorrow morning, there will be some Broncos for breakfast. Tomorrow night, podcast, MHH pod, the aftermath. I'll be traveling tomorrow to the East Coast, linking up with Scott. We're going to do a Tommy Boy style road trip from Atlanta to Mobile, Alabama. We'll be at the Senior Bowl all week. So keep it locked with us, and it's going to be a fun offseason, guys. Thank you for everything. Keep your chin up. This too shall pass, and the best is yet to come from this Broncos team.
Yeah, have a great rest of your Sunday. We'll see you tomorrow. Take care, and as always, go Broncos.